He promised and he fulfilled. LeBron James finally brought a championship to Cleveland, Ohio. Today's video is going to be a recap of not only Game 7 but the Cleveland Cavaliers season, how they won the NBA Finals, and kind of a fun little segment. And out of the NBA season being over and complete, there's still the NBA draft, but notice how there's only 30 teams in the NBA but 32 in the NFL. I'm also going to give out what 10 cities should consider hosting an NBA team and why. So this will either be a fun one or you're going to be, I don't know how to describe it. I'll just say you like it or you won't. Okay. So, in the beginning of the season, it's being portrayed as a Cleveland Cavaliers Golden State Warriors matchup. It's being portrayed that way. And the people weren't wrong, they were correct. It was Cleveland versus Golden State, and they said Golden State was going to be unstoppable this year and they were going to just win really easily. Although I did say Warriors in 7, it could have easily been Warriors in 7. It easily could have been. There could have been some shots in Game 7 that didn't go Cleveland's way, would go Golden State's way. It just seemed like whichever team missed the last shot was going to lose the game. That's what it looked like. Throughout the last 4 minutes when it was tied up at 89, it looked like they're going to probably trade baskets, and whichever one misses first is probably going to lose. So at the beginning of the year, it all starts off with Cleveland. They're saying they're a lock to win the Eastern Conference. They're going to be unbeatable in the Eastern Conference. They're going to advance to the NBA Finals. And in preseason, I said it'd be Cleveland over the Thunder in 5, with Cleveland winning the championship. So I guess I gave partial credit to myself, because I had Cleveland winning it all in October. And it didn't matter what Golden State did, because Cleveland was going to win it all anyway. So there were teams that were trying to compete with the. There were teams that were trying to compete with Cleveland. I apologize for that. It just seemed to lack chemistry. It seemed like Kyrie wanted to leave Cleveland. It seemed like Kevin Love wanted to leave Cleveland. It seemed like Kevin Love was going to be traded before the trade deadline. In fact, they were talking about Kevin Love probably being traded right before the trade deadline. It was being talked that way. And the Cavaliers traded Anderson Varejao out of the Warriors before the trade deadline. And the Warriors and Cavaliers faced off a handful of times in the regular season. On Christmas Day, the Warriors won by about 7 points, but then the second time they met around, the Warriors won't beat Cleveland by nearly 40, I think it was. Nearly 40. It was just a blowout win for the Warriors. And everyone was questioning Cleveland. If they can't beat the Warriors in the regular season, what makes them think they can in the playoffs? Well, the playoffs are really different from the regular season. The playoffs, you can only lose 4 times in one series to be eliminated. And Cleveland easily swept through Detroit and Atlanta. They had trouble winning Game 3 and 4 in Toronto, but they came back to win Games 5 and 6. So Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Cleveland gets a lead in the game. They compete in the first game, which not really people many expected, because some teams gave the Warriors nearly, I believe it was over a 75% chance that the Warriors were going to win this NBA Finals. But I only gave the Warriors a 56% chance. And the reasons that it was only 56% the Warriors to win the whole thing, I explained those. I explained that in the finals, LeBron does the work of 2 people, it feels like. And since he had Kyrie and Love this time around, the odds of Cleveland winning this year were going to increase than, let's just say, if it was last year. The bench for the Warriors really stepped up in Game 1. And then in Game 2 was just kind of a blowout. Love went down. In Game 3, Love couldn't play. And then after Game 4, the Warriors lead 3-1. No team's ever come back from 3-1. In fact, only 3 teams have forced a Game 7. 2 of them were by the Celtics, and the other was the Baltimore Bullets, who are no longer in the NBA. But maybe Baltimore will be mentioned later in this video. So here's the deal. No, Usher even warned Steph Curry after Game 4 that Cleveland can come back from being down 3-1 because the Warriors did it. But Steph Curry didn't listen to Usher. Steph Curry was like, nope, we got a different team over here in Golden State. So Usher even warned them. So here's how Cleveland won the NBA Finals. In fact, Game 5, Draymond Green is suspended. I don't think it would have made much of a difference. I think Cleveland would have won, but it wouldn't have been by like 30 plus. Then in Game 6, Steph Curry fouls out, gets ejected, throws his mouthpiece. It hits a fan. Steph Curry has to pay $25,000. $25,000 should go to that fan, is what I at least think. And Klay Thompson just walked off the court just in dejection and defeat and anguish. And in Game 7, Kyrie hits a key, the finals winning shot, the finals winning 3-pointer. Cleveland goes on to win 93-89. So here's how Cleveland won the NBA Finals. Yes, there's going to be some kind of a glare. We'll just have to accept it. They won with LeBron James. As I said, LeBron James, when he gets to the NBA Finals, he does the work of two people, it feels like. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie was a huge part of this. It wasn't just LeBron James. Even though LeBron James led nearly every single category for both finals teams, Kyrie really helped out. The bench play as well. I mean, Kevin Love came off the bench after he couldn't play in Game 3. Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith, they really stepped it up. And they had great defensive plays. Great defensive plays by Shumpert, Smith, Irving, and LeBron James. Even a couple by Kevin Love. Now, Richard Jefferson has announced his retirement. He will not come back next season. He said Game 7 was his last game. He wanted to go out on top. So let's get into the next segment. 10 cities that should have an NBA team. Now, some of you may even live in these cities or somewhere close. So comment below if you think they should have an NBA team and why. Here's the number 1 team. Omaha, Nebraska. Now, Nebraska has no professional teams. In fact, the teams that people here in Nebraska like are the Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Royals, Denver Broncos, Chicago Bears, Packers, Vikings. It splits between those 4 NFL teams. Although in football, they kind of like the Broncos as well. So Broncos, Packers, Bears, Vikings, Chiefs. Those are the 5 teams that everybody really likes. I'm one of those rare people that like the Atlanta Falcons in Nebraska. I'm one of those rare people. And Omaha, Nebraska is really so invested into sports. In fact, they've been hosting the College World Series for the last nearly 60 years. So people are invested in baseball those 2 weeks. Not only do they really support the amateur team, the Omaha Storm Chasers, but if they had an NBA team, it could really give them somewhere to do. Because the CenturyLink Center is really popular. I mean, Omaha, Nebraska has hosted the first weekend of March Madness twice in the last, 5 years. Because people in the Omaha, Nebraska area, they love their sports. I mean, they like 1620 The Zone, ESPN 590. Just those radio stations, those are just elite radio stations that everybody likes. 1110 KFAB covers Husker games every Saturday. They let Nebraska Cornhuskers sellout record. It's still going strong. It's over, I believe it's at 329. I'm not a Nebraska fan, so I would not know. But I think it's at 329. Second, Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, this would just open up. It would probably fill out major casinos on betting on the basketball team to win. Huge population. Sports is really popular in Las Vegas with betting and other things. Third, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I mean, I've been to the city once. It's really wonderful. Big population, over 100,000 people. It's just a really popular city. Bunch of people. That huge population could really use a sports team, and I think it could draw basketball fans. Seattle, Washington. Now, I know they used to have the Supersonics, but they need to bring a team back to Seattle. I really feel like they should, because Seattle has the Seahawks. I mean, that would just be really wonderful. The Seahawks doing well in the last several years. It could bring back the basketball team. They should actually bring back the basketball team. Maybe a team moves to Seattle, and they'll be the Supersonics again. Number 5, Montreal, Canada. Now I know there's already the Toronto Raptors, but maybe if they had a team in Montreal, it would cause like a Canada rivalry between the two teams, which would probably be interesting to watch. They can put one in the Western Conference and the other in the Eastern Conference. That'd be kind of interesting to see. Number 6, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now Pittsburgh loves their sports as well. In fact, I would be down to put money on the fact that Pittsburgh is in the top 5 of all cities across America that are loyal sports fans. They're loyal to their Steelers. They're loyal to their Pirates. They're loyal to their Pittsburgh Penguins. But there's no basketball team. If a basketball team was in Pittsburgh with the colors black and yellow, I'd almost guarantee that the city of Pittsburgh would support them. They would stay loyal to it no matter what. Just like they're loyal to the Steelers, Pirates, and Penguins. Number 7, Kansas City. Now, people in Kansas City, they love their Chiefs. They love their Royals. And if they had an NBA team, they'd probably enjoy that too. Basically, I would say it would draw the Midwest a little bit. It would probably draw some Bulls fans in Illinois. They could probably draw in some fans maybe from teams in the Midwest with no basketball team like North Dakota. They could probably even draw in some Minnesota fans that don't like the Timberwolves. Because just because you live in the state doesn't mean you have to like any teams in the state. Number 8, San Diego, California. Now, I know there's so many California teams, but if San Diego had an NBA team, maybe it could cause all the states to have one division. Like you'd have the San Diego team, you'd have the Warriors, you'd have the Lakers, you'd have the Clippers. Just think about it. All those teams could be in a division. And you'd even have the Kings too, so that'd be 5 teams in a division. That would work perfectly. Number 9, St. Louis, Missouri. With the Rams moving to LA, St. Louis only has the St. Louis Cardinals to cheer for. So this is why they should have an NBA team. That way they can have another team to cheer for to replace the Rams. Because the Rams are now moving back to LA. And plus, fans in St. Louis would be able to go to the games easier. That way they can sell tickets in St. Louis because there's a bunch of tourist attractions in St. Louis, like the Golden Gate, like the arches. It would draw fans for tourist attractions, and they need a team to root for in St. Louis with the Rams moving to Los Angeles. Number 10, Tucson, Arizona. I feel like it's a really popular city. One of the 50 most popular cities in America. They could really use a basketball team. Just gives the fans something to do. There's some honorable mentions. Baltimore, Maryland, like I said. But there was an article, I think it may have been 2 years ago that I was reading it. Like I was reading an article last week from 2 years ago saying that Baltimore, Maryland does not have the money or the funds to make an NBA team again. But I think it would actually work because they have great history in Baltimore with basketball. I mean, they were one of the only 4 teams to force a Game 7 in NBA history. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are the first team to come back from being down 3-1. So I think it would work. And another honorable mention, San Jose, California. It was kind of either that or Fresno. And San Jose they have the Sharks as well. People are liking the Sharks now in San Jose. Because California is really known for their sports, it feels like. With like teams like the Clippers and the Warriors and the Lakers. And the Kings back when they had Mike Bibby. Now they got San Jose Sharks, the LA Kings. They had the Los Angeles Dodgers, San Francisco Giants. If you had a team in San Jose, I bet people in California, they'd find a way to get to the games. Another one, this is kind of a going out too far one, but Albuquerque, New Mexico. I mean, this is a really large city, but people in Mexico, they don't have any sports. Yes, they have the University of New Mexico, but that's pretty much it. There's no professional teams at all in New Mexico. And I think maybe a basketball team could bring New Mexico closer to sports, maybe draw them to the sports world. And the last time I mentioned Cincinnati, Ohio. Now I know there's already the Cavaliers, but maybe they could be an in-state rivalry, kind of like what the Clippers and the Lakers do. They share an arena. Maybe they would start off by sharing an arena or something. Or just start in Cincinnati. Well, that's going to do it. Tell me what you think about... Tell me what do you think about the NBA Finals. Tell me what you think about this topic. Was it a good one? Was it kind of interesting? Or was it really boring and I shouldn't have done it? And comment your opinion below. And was there a city that I did not mention that should be on this list of teams that should host an NBA team and why? Comment that below and why you think that. That's going to do it. Follow my sports Twitter account at JBTalkSports. Let's see. Email me for new suggestions, bergtechjohnny@gmail.com for future videos. If you request those, I will do those. Well, have a good day, everyone. I'll see you next time.